Just wanted to do a quick video on this Dewalt impact wrench, and where's the model number? Yeah, it's the DCF892. I think it's the same as the 891, but the 892 has the locking pin, and I think the 891 has a hog ring. And it's a surprisingly high torque impact wrench, and I had it for a year. It works incredibly well. It's done everything I've asked of it. It'll crack loose really over tightened lug nuts on the car. I've used it to take the sump nut out because the mechanic did that up way too tight with an impact wrench, which you should never do. I've used it to take the 33mm nut off the toe ball, which was rusted on, probably been on the car for 20 years. And I had a big spanner out, I was whacking it with a hammer, I couldn't budge it. Over tightened lug nuts like you wouldn't believe, that I physically cannot get off with a wheel brace. So when I get my tyres changed, I take this tool. When I get the car back, I take the lug nut, or just loosen them with this, tighten them back on by hand, so that way when I get a flat tyre I can actually change the wheel, because I don't take this in the car with me. It runs okay off the generic battery, but as you'll see in my other video, I do recommend you get the proper Dewalt batteries for higher power tools. What's special about this tool, it only came out like a year and a half ago, is that it's compact in size, but it has the torque of a high, almost the same as a high torque tool, and so it will take off those really tough nuts and bolts. The pin's very, very stiff, so it does take a fair bit of force to rip the socket off. You really need to push down, if there's a hole in the socket, push down and release the pin that way. I kind of wish I'd got the hog ring version, because I think they're a bit easier. It's quite heavy, but for what it can do, it's honestly one of the best power tools I've ever bought. Because I have this tool, I can now do work on my car that I couldn't do before. Like, I couldn't do an oil change. Like, my car's pretty low to the ground and you just can't get a lot of leverage. It's just very awkward to get leverage on the sump nut. The only issue I've had is when I was using an adapter onto a normal socket. I still got the nuts loose, but it didn't seem to work quite as well. I think maybe there's a bit of give in the adapters and you just lose some of the shock. So get proper, get the right size impact socket. It is a 1/2-inch drive. So I'm using a 24mm, a 13/16, and a 33mm I think for the toe ball. Working on other parts of my car. It's nice to know I have this. It's also a good tool for cinching down spring clamps if you're doing struts. It's a bit overkill probably, but I have it on low speed pretty much all I think one is the slowest, I could be wrong, but you can really slow down the speed just by partially depressing the trigger. And you never want to tighten with this, only use it to take things off. It will strip threads, I'm told, if you use it to over tighten something. It's been reliable, and even really, really tough jobs, it's been able to crack the nuts loose. So definitely a fantastic tool, and had it for a year plus. Saved me hundreds of dollars in mechanics charges, so leave it there.